Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 of Roots of Harmony. We're picking up right where we left off, the tutorial on our first playthrough here. Starting with tutorial tip number 16, we're going to dive right into it, continue to see what the game's got to offer for us. So, we last time had gone ahead and ended our first turn. And you know, games like this, they tend to go a little slow in the beginning, especially when you're learning how to play it, obviously. But the turns, I'm sure, will progress as we continue moving forward. And like I said, we're already into turn 2 here, moving on. So, welcome to a new turn. You should have one building finished now. To check what resources you are producing every turn, click on the top panel where your resources are listed. If you play with the keyboard-only setting, you will find the same menu via the production screen. I'm actually using a mouse for this, but I do want to point out that you can actually play this game in the settings. And since this mentions it, you can play it with keyboard only, which I think is pretty cool. There are a lot of games that definitely shine with keyboard only. Huge fan of games like Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead and also Dwarf Fortress, the ASCII version of Dwarf Fortress way back in the day, not the Steam version. But I'm sure that can be played with keyboard too, but I love games that can be played with keyboard only. But I am using a mouse for this just for the sake of simplicity, so I'm not fumbling too much with the keys, but it's nice that you have the option. So, all right, so yeah, we can take a look and see here in the production screen kind of what we're making. We had built a lumberjack's camp last time, and we're trying to kind of get up to this carpenter's house here. At least that's the goal. So, let's see. So top panel where resources are listed. If you play with the keyboard, you'll find this in the production screen. So we're here. Wealth, faith. We got the one faith from a random event. Actually, I don't think the lumberjack. I don't think that actually gave us anything, right? The lumberjack doesn't give us anything just yet. It's when we start doing stuff with the furniture area. So, all right. So the following table is an overview of your global net production. All modifiers are taken into account, including plot bonuses. Buildings that are paused are excluded. Plot bonuses are also excluded in that case. For your convenience, disciples that require a given resource to be recruited are displayed in parentheses. Kind of cool. Cruelty, the vanquisher. So, where is cruelty? It's all the way up here. All right. I did get a little bit of a tip from the developer. He's already seen the first episode, and he told me that cruelty is actually going to be an important resource for the production trait that I took. So that'll be interesting to kind of see how that plays out. And we can already see here that cruelty is needed for a vanquisher, for a disciple that requires that particular resource to be recruited. So it might be like a particular unit that is unique to maybe what I've picked. So tutorial 17, this menu is very important as it lists all resources, resource modifiers affecting your colony, even those that are not linked to your buildings. So keep an eye on it. Go back to the main menu. Okay, so we don't have anything right now because we know the lumberjack is not, or I don't believe is producing anything. I can't tell because this is over top of it right now, but we can check it out here in a second as we move along. So, tutorial 18, open the milestones menu. Milestones. Ooh, so let's see. This is the milestone menu. Here you can see a set of randomly picked objectives that, once completed, will give you victory. You need to complete all of them to win the game. Note that if you lose Crossroads, your first land, you lose the game. Okay. So, complete every milestone to achieve victory. This is cool. This is really neat. So, you can actually beat the game. And there's ways to do it. So let's see. Before I go ahead and start saying what I think this is, I'm going to read this here. So your territory being very limited, it's important to think about expanding it as soon as possible, but in which direction? Well, this is where the milestones can help you. Because the last milestone you receive is always about exploring all lands in one specific direction. In this case, we need to explore the west. Keep an eye on those milestones because they will make you play differently from one playthrough to another. Now, please go back to the main menu. Gotcha. And that right there at the end answered my question, or at least kind of solidified what I was already guessing, which is that these change every playthrough. Kind of the titles and stuff already gave me the hint. As soon as I was in here, this looks like something that's probably randomly generated, which is really neat. So it means you're going to get a lot of playability out of the game because you're going to get something different every time you play it. I know War Sim also shares a lot of that. A lot of that stuff as well. So So I do want to take a look at these real quick. So the Smell of Knowledge, so we got to build a library, phase 2. We get a reward for that. Then we've got the Zealous Evangelist. Oh my God. 20 reputation points through preaching. You have gained 0. And we get a jewel from that. Okay, I feel like that doesn't fit very well with what we're doing. The library may be a little bit better. Tribe Killer. So we got to eradicate one tribe. That's interesting. We'll get an artifact out of that. Werewolf Killer. So we got to kill a werewolf in the West. And we get 3 Essence of Sacrifice. So now we know there's werewolves in the game. Generosity Prevails. Build a charity. Phase 5. We get 3 random essence. And Master of the West, which is what this was mentioning here. Discovering basically one direction. And discover all lands in the West, and we get plus 10 of all resources. That seems huge. So these all, I don't know a lot about the game yet, but they definitely seem doable. I'm a little nervous about some of them that maybe don't align with what I picked, but I'm sure that's not going to be an issue as I progress forward. It's cool that you get rewards, too. So obviously completing them all will give you victory, but even just completing a few of them will give you rewards to help you out. Open the exploration menu and take a look at the land your scout has just revealed in West 1. So this is exciting. Let's see what we've got here. Let's see, look at the land your scout just revealed, West number 1. Okay, so it's right here. So we've got the 2 disciples we sent there. There's an exclamation mark I see. So the land, West number 1, is only defended by 1 enemy disciple in Enforcer. If you hover this disciple now, you'll see that he's very good against medium armor. Unfortunately, your militia is wearing such armor, which makes this battle too risky at this point of the game. But West number 1 has another point of interest. There is an explorer on the land. Talk to the explorer and buy a map from him. So we can't fight the Enforcer. We can see him down here at the bottom. And yeah, we can see his stats. Can we compare that to ours? Is this our stats? So, yeah, he's an Enforcer. I'm Militia. So this is his stats here. It's not my stats. I'm sure there's a way to view them maybe outside of the tutorial if I hover over, but as the game has already told us, we cannot be... we won't win this fight if we take it. So we're just going to talk to the explorer. You see a man walking towards you. He's holding a notepad on which he seems to make some drawings. You wave at him for him to stop. What are you doing? I'm an explorer, he says. I have a map here that will reveal the next 3 lands that you don't know. I can sell it to you for 5 wealth. That is literally all of our wealth. Boy, that is a tough one. It's literally all of our wealth. But 3 lands revealed. Is that 3 lands in the West or just 3 lands in general? The next 3 lands that you don't know. Which makes me think that it's the 3 lands in the West, but I guess technically any 3 lands could be lands I don't know if they're not discovered. I mean, why not? It's our first run. We can mess it up. Spend all of our wealth. We're productive. We're a productive society anyways, right? We'll get that back. Go back and open West 2. So back here. Okay, so it was 3 in the West, including a werewolf den. We'll take a look at West 2 now. This land is owned by the Nafars and is only defended by 1 mediocre disciple, a demolitionist. Besides, one of the plots has a faith bonus on it, which can be useful. Now, directly from the current menu, order both your militia and your nearest scout to move to this land. Note, most of your disciples can move 2 lands per turn. So I want to move them both. So I can order a disciple to move. I can order them both to move. Okay. So 1 en route. 2 en route. Okay. Both your disciples will arrive to West number 2 in 1 turn, and because battles only happen at the end of a turn, that means you'll be able to conquer this land in 2 turns. In the meantime, let's use your other scout. Go back and open North 1. So we had sent the other scout out to North 1. So take a look at that. We got a glacier. Many lands can be investigated by one of your disciples to find hidden treasures. Scouts are very good at it. Because it takes them 2 turns instead of 3 to investigate a land, send your scout to investigate North number 1 now. Okay, so scouts get a bonus to investigating lands, and lands could possibly have hidden treasures, so we can investigate surrounding. Excellent. All your disciples are busy. Now go back to the main menu and end your turn. We already know we got another building going, so we don't got to worry about that. The tutorial is very thorough. I'm enjoying it. Last night at the bonfire, a lady stood up and recited a poem. Everyone was filled with joy, and her words continued to resonate in our minds during all night. How beautiful. +1 inspiration, +1 stability, which I'm just getting for free, so I'll take free. I like free. We like stability. We need wealth, though. Turn 3. When you engage in combat, you need to think a few turns in advance, because if you annoy a tribe or one of their allies, you will eventually have to face some invaders. Those invaders will attack your closest land if it's less than 10 lands away. Okay, gotcha. So we're going to want to spread out then to kind of create a buffer zone between our enemies and the crossroads, which is essentially like our starting area. So let's go ahead and engage in combat. That was in West 2. So, yep, engage in combat with them. Okay. Now press escape to go back to the main menu, then end your turn and prepare to fight. Well, hold on a second. Can we build? So the Lumberjacks camp is, it'll deplete in 19 turns and become an abandoned building. Has no production, but it is used by other buildings, so it is being used by the Carpenter's house now. And it produces a tradable good, which is timber. The Carpenter's house is giving us 1 skill if it's adjacent to the Lumberjack. And it produces the tradable commodity furniture, which we haven't fully figured out how to work that yet, but it's good that we're doing it. So if we go back to up here, yep, so we can see that the Carpenter's house is giving us +1 skill. Okay. We don't know how to spend that yet, but I'm sure that there's a way to do it, just like we've spent the wealth here. Oh, such as spending it probably here. Here would make sense. I'm thinking, is there anything that the Carpenter's house uses? Hunter's Lodge would not. We could build a well. That actually would probably make sense. It's good for the lavatory and the playground. Actually, should probably build the playground. Well, you know, what gives us cruelty? The developer had given me a little bit of a tip here. The playground gives me cruelty, and the pen. Okay, the pen needs to be adjacent to a hunter's lodge. The playground needs to be adjacent to a well. I think we should build the playground, and then we should build the well, and then we should build whatever else he uses. Oh man, some of these actually need to be adjacent to 2 things. It's good to know. I think we should build whatever else uses the well. There was the lavatory, which produces health. I like that. So let's build the playground. It requires... it will give us 1 knowledge automatically, and then cruelty if it's adjacent to the well. Yep. Okay, we're going to want cruelty, so we're going to go for it. All right, let's do it. Welcome to your first battle. Here you can see on the left all the battles that you must resolve before your next turn. Combat is always automatic, meaning that apart from setting the priority target and the combat style of each of your disciples, you cannot intervene during the battle. However, if you're the attacker, you'll be able to retreat at any moment for no penalty. Okay, so here's the battle here, 2 versus 1. We can see like things like the land type, the size, the distance from the crossroads, which is the crossroads is like where our kingdom is. We can see their army essentially. So they got 1 disciple. We've got 2. Looks like we could have like more en route, or maybe other enemies or invaders in the area. Okay. And I guess this possibly... Oh, this gives us more plots of land to build on. Cool. Okay. All right. So here we go. We've kind of got a screen here showing us everything. Combat orders. So the militia's going to use range and stay in the rear. I guess and the scout's going to use melee and he's going to stay in the front. And we can change the combat styles. Oh, can I go back after I get in the screen? I can't, so I have to click on this again. The escape key wasn't working for me. Let me see. There might be another key, but I don't know what it is. But we know he was melee and he was in the front. Okay. And we've got a demolitionist in the rear. All right, let's go ahead and just do the battle. See what happens here. Okay, so like that's it. We're like fighting. They're moving into different positions, so we can kind of see that. That's like probably their position relative to where they are on the map. He's kind of far away, I'm assuming, from us. So I think maybe we're hitting him with the arrow. I'm not getting a... Oh, show battle result would probably... Let's go through the rounds, though. Oh, yep, okay. Oh, no, we're moving in. We're moving in. Nobody's battling yet. Okay, we're doing damage now, though. His hit points are going down. So aren't ours. But we know we've got 2 of us, so we're hoping... Oh. Yeah, duh, there's a combat log over here. I'm not even paying attention. So our scout, for example, he consumed one of the elixirs, and he gained 40 hit points. So he actually has items on him, and there may be a way to see that. And we know that we can get things from completing certain tasks, like elixirs and stuff. Oh, yeah, we got this. He's dead. You've won the battle and captured a new land. Interesting. You could retry the battle. That's, or you can accept the outcome. That's really interesting. I'm not going to click retry the battle, but I wonder if that actually just literally plays the entire thing out. So if you're not happy with the outcome, you could just do it again. Like maybe you lose somebody and you think you could have done it differently. It's such a beautiful day today that some people prefer to lie down in the grass instead of working. After all, what's more delicate than the warmth of the sunshine to appease our torments? Go back to work, we get plus skill. Yeah, sure, plus 1 health. Well, we're going to send him back to work at that skill, I guess. You know how I am. Back to work, you dogs. Congratulations, you have conquered your first land. All your units have regenerated their hit points after the battle, and you will soon be able to recruit more units to defend your lands against potential invaders. You might consider gifting a jewel to the Nafars via the inventory menu if you want to calm them down. You're now on your own. Read your new messages, take a look at other menus, and enjoy the rest of the story of your colony. Remember that you can hit escape at any time to go back to the main menu, and backspace / right-click to go back to the previous menu. Gotcha, so it was backspace was the key to get back from that one menu earlier I was mentioning, so now we know. Now we know. It wasn't relevant then, but now we know. So, all right, that's it. The tutorial's done. We're thrown into the game. We're ready to kind of take it on ourselves. But I actually think that this is probably a really good time to leave the video off, and we can come back next time and be 100% in control, which will probably turn into an entire train wreck for me. We already know we got messages to read. We're on turn 4, and we're just going to play it out, kind of see how far we can get and what other things we can check out and discover on our own. Very exciting. All right, well, thank you very much for enjoying me for this episode. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you next time.